Thank you so much for your order. Now I'm going to show you what's inside and how to prepare your special meal. Ciao! This is our Lobster Linguine Box. Now I'm going to show you what's inside. So the first thing you want to find in your box is the instructions for your box. On the front we have our lovely lobster logo with our heart at home. On the back of that you'll find the instruction sheet. There's a QR code here. Now if you scan it with your phone you'll be taken to the website where you'll find your instructions for your box. Below we have our preparation date and our use by. Now this use by is very important as we use fresh shellfish. Below we have our ingredient list with our allergens in bold. You can also access all this information on our website. So you're going to find a couple of ice packs in there. That's keeping your produce lovely and fresh during the courier service. First off, you've got your bottle of nice white Sicilian wine. We also have our 2 salt caramel Garnishes with dark chocolate, keeping them for dessert obviously, our corn coblet, and finally the main element of the box is our lobster. So we've prepared this lobster completely for you, picked it all down, ready to go into your pasta. Our spiced tomato sauce, our chipotle chili and coriander to finish the pasta off, and finally a packet of our dry linguine pasta. We do recommend only using half of this, so keep the other half for another day. That's our Lobster Linguine Box. So the first job we're going to need to do is preheat the oven to 200 Celsius. Now if you do have a fan setting, I'd recommend use it. If not, it's not a problem. So now I'm going to talk you through the very simple step of reheating our bread. So the bread is completely cooked for you. It comes in a package. Just remove it from the packaging. You now discard the packaging. Take your bread onto an oven tray. We're going to put that into our oven. It's been preheated at 200 Celsius for 5 minutes. So now I'm going to show you the simple steps to cook your lobster linguine. For this you're going to need a large pot with boiling water. I've prepared that prior to starting this video, so we've got just simply water in this pot up to the boil. We've got another pan that's ready for our sauce and our lobster going and our pasta going after. You're going to need a set of tongs here for the pasta. I've got a little maurice or a spoon you can use just for mixing tomato sauce. A ladle is quite important because we're going to use a bit of the pasta water for inside the sauce, and finally salt. So simply lid off the pasta pot, take your salt, and we're going to season your pasta water. It's quite important to season your pasta water so we don't have a bland pasta. So let that come up to boil there. So your pasta, I like to open my pasta quite easily. You just hold it in one hand and we're going to bang it on the table. It's going to open at the top. Simply like that, the pasta's now open. For this recipe, we're only going to use half of this pasta. So take about half out, put it straight into your boiling water. You want to kind of separate it up a bit. So now we have our pasta on. So in the other pot, we're going to put that onto a medium heat. So number 6 again if we're using induction, kind of medium if it's gas. And we take our tomato sauce. And using a pair of scissors, we're going to just nip a corner off of that. And we're going to place that into the pan. So making sure we get all of our tomato sauce, we don't want to waste any. Now this tomato sauce is a super simple tomato sauce, very Italian. The only ingredients we use in here is tomatoes. It's basically tomatoes cooked down with our spices. We've got some coriander in there, cumin, fennel seed and chili, and that's it. There's a little bit of seasoning in there. So our pasta's now fallen into the water. We take our tongs and we move it around. If we don't move it around, what's going to happen is the pasta's going to stick together and kind of congeal into one. You want to make sure we kind of give it a quick shake around so it's all nice and separated. And pop that lid back on, okay? Let that keep boiling. Now, on the instruction sheets, the pasta takes about 12 minutes. Test your pasta. Sometimes it was going to take 13 minutes, 14 minutes. Sometimes it's going to take 11. All depends on how strong your cooker is. Just keep testing it. At the 10, 12 minute mark, pull a piece of pasta out and test it. So the sauce is on. All we're doing is very slowly warming it up. We don't want the bottom of the pan to catch. We don't want to reduce it in any way. We want to keep it the same consistency we have. Now with your lobster, again, it's in the packet, pre-prepared. We've picked it down, cooked it. Again, It is a shellfish, so they may contain small pieces of shell, and we quite simply pop it into your sauce. Now it's quite important at this point not to mix it too harshly, okay? That's why I'm using a Maurice rather than a metal spoon. You can use a spoon, that's fine, but it's gentle. So what we're doing is just very gently mixing that up, okay? Now, if you use a metal spoon or if you mix it too much, you're going to break that lobster down into loads of tiny little bits rather than chunky nuggets. Now we can see the pasta's boiling again. That's why we use the lid again. We take that off. Now, again, just give the pasta a quick stir. You can see it's still holding its shape a lot. Very al dente at the moment. Now I like my pasta undercooked. I think spending a lot of time in Italy, you get used to really eating it al dente. So our sauce is nice and warm. It's got our lobster bits in there. We set it aside. Right now, all we're doing is waiting for the pasta to cook. So we're going to be waiting another 5-6 minutes on that. Okay, so now I'm quickly checking my pasta. So we're ready here. So we've got our tomato and lobster again. We put that on a higher heat. So up high, we want to get it nice and hot now. And what we do is we take a ladle, we get some of our pasta water. So inside this water contains the pasta starch. It's very good for the sauce. We put one ladle of water into the sauce. Let that come up to temperature. Now you just want to quickly strain your pasta straight into the pan. No colander needed. Now if you don't have tongs, use a colander. So you want to get all your pasta into your pan. And then we're just going to get rid of your boiling pan now. So now we've got our pasta in our sauce. We want to make sure that's nice evenly coated. Just give it a nice little toss in your pan. Use your tongs if you want to. Just give it a nice mix. Make sure everything's coated nice and evenly. Now we've got our serving bowls. And you just want to take a nice pinch of the pasta with your tongs. Let it drip off a bit. Place it in the bowl, give it a spin as you plate it. The pasta's going to hold in the center. Take your next bowl, again, as much pasta as you can in your tongs. Let it drain a bit. Bring it over the bowl and twist the bowl as you place the pasta down. This keeps the pasta in the center of the plate and nicely, okay? Then we go with the rest of the sauce and the rest of the pasta. It's a lovely juicy sauce with this. All those lovely lobster bits on top. And that's that. Put your pot on the side. Again, a little bit of splash tomato sauce, that's fine, you're at home. Give it a wipe. So we've got our two lovely pasta dishes here. We've got our fragrant chipotle chili. If you don't like chili, just leave it off. I do. I just sprinkle it between the two dishes. This just gives it a really lovely depth. A nice finish. And then finally the fresh coriander. You don't need much of the coriander, it's very fragrant. Just a bit on the top. And that's it. Simple as that. We have our lobster linguine with chipotle chili and coriander. Harrow Home, bringing fine dining to your home. Head to our website harrowhome.co.uk.